If you're tracking your car, something like this may be a better consumable option. Yes, the carbon ceramics do last a while. However, they still do wear out on track. So if you are aggressively tracking your car going quite a bit, you may not want to put carbon ceramic rotors into your consumable budget. All right, today we are going to test fit some Girodisc carbon ceramic replacement conversion rotors for the G8X chassis. This car we have here came with the carbon ceramics. Honestly, carbon ceramic rotors, pretty awesome. They are super lightweight, really don't have any dust or any of that, last a pretty good while. Braking performance is pretty impressive with them, partially because of how lightweight that rotor is. You get these iron rotors and they add weight, and sometimes that has a gyroscopic effect of trying to carry the car forward with all that weight. However, it also is a weight penalty on your wallet because these things, the fronts are $5,700 or something like that per rotor. The rears are over $3,700 per rotor. That comes to, if you're gonna do a rotor replacement on one of these, $19,000. Okay, I have bought a lot of cars for $19,000. And I'm not talking like a car for $19,000. I'm talking like, I could get like a bunch of E36s and do a lot of stuff to those for $19,000. Obviously, not an E36, a different car. But if you're tracking your car, something like this may be a better consumable option. Yes, the carbon ceramics do last a while. However, they still do wear out on track. So if you are aggressively tracking your car going quite a bit, you may not want to put carbon ceramic rotors into your consumable budget. So insert these Girodisc rotors that we're working on with them, and this is the first test fit, and pretty excited to see how these go to hopefully have an option that is more cost effective for those that are using their cars on track. They are heavier. We'll get a weight comparison on these when we get these rotors off. They do require a little bit different pad shape. They require the iron disc pad shape. You can see on the fronts, these pads, this is the iron disc pad, this is the carbon ceramic shape pad. It has a little bit more of a cutout here. If you tried to use this pad, it's gonna crash into the hat. The rear, sort of a similar deal, bigger carbon ceramic pad, smaller iron disc pad. So we're also throwing, since this car is a street car, we're gonna throw DFC pads on this thing because it's a street car, which they're a really good street, low dust, somewhat performance pad. Let's get to putting these on the car, getting some weight comparisons, and make sure everything fits well before we tell Girodisc to get these babies in production. Carbon ceramic rotors off. Gonna compare the weight to these Girodisc iron rotors. Just from a feel, that's got a little weight to it. Ooh, that's pretty light. So let's see what we got. Girodisc rear. Hey, it would help if I turn this on. All right, Girodisc rear. 18.2. Carbon ceramic rear. 10.8. All right, here we go doing math in my head again. 18.2 minus 10.8. I don't know. That's like 8.6 pounds. Is that right? No, I did that backwards. 7.4.
Yeah.
7.4, right?
Yeah, because
there it is, 7.4.
And then 10. Right?
All right, so 7.4 pound difference per rotor in the rear. Glad we got that figured out. All right, 30, that's a little bit of a big one. However, I think that's about the same weight as the standard iron disc ones, so not too bad actually, given that's got a lot more material on it. 15.4, that's it. I'm weighing that again. All right, so That's a little bit easier for me to do in my head. That is 14.6 pounds difference per rotor, which, all right, that's a lot. But we know that. We know that the big performance advantage is that the carbon ceramic rotors are lighter. However, also mentioned a wallet performance advantage when moving to these. I don't know exactly what these are going to be priced at just yet. However, I do know that they're going to be probably in the same ballpark as other Girodisc rotors, which means all 4 corners as the full assemblies are probably, almost definitely, going to be less than 1 rear corner of these carbon ceramic rotors. And then on top of that, they're also a 2-piece system. So, you know, you're buying the system, it's an investment into it, and then you only need to replace the rings in the future and reuse the hats. And that's gonna be like $1,200, $1,600, something like that, just for replacement rings. How many sets of these rotors would you go through? All right, we've done a little bit of math. I'm not gonna do that math in my head right now, but that's a lot of these rotors to go through for 1 set of the carbon ceramic ones. So to help save on consumables for track use, this really is an awesome solution, and excited to get these Girodisc rotors on the car, get them test fit. We're gonna go ahead and wrap up the rest of that test fitment now, make sure everything is good, and confirm that we can get these babies produced to market. And well, I think that about wraps it up. If you want to check out any more BMW content, be sure to check out our channel and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Ready to go? Should be an awesome race weekend. We are ready to kill it this year. It's gonna be a wild ride.